So today we move into the evolution of money. We move into module 2, the evolution of money. The evolution of money. Many times when people hear money, the understanding that people have about money is actually currency. So in order for you to be able to become financially free, you need to have the right understanding of what money is. So when I say money, you think currency. So we have different currencies of different nations. So when people see those paper currencies, they say that is money. But in all honesty, that is not money. And that's why I want to spend time to really have clear understanding of money by beginning with this aspect of evolution of money. So when you talk about money, people think that currency is money. So I would need anybody, if you have cash in your pocket or in your purse, bring out the cash in your pocket or your purse. Let's just look for 2 people. If you have cash, any currency in your... Okay, so just bring it out. Is there anybody here that has a card, a bank card, ATM card, whatever card? Let's just get 2 people. So let's come. So you have, how much is that? Okay, so that's, just one is enough. Just hold one. Okay, so that's 1,000 naira. Any other person? Okay, so you have a bank card with you. Good. So is that, what kind of card is that? Okay, so that's a Visa card. Okay. So now, please come with me. Now, whenever we say money, this is what comes to your mind, right? This is what comes to your mind. You say this is money, but this is not money. You know why this is not money? Because this is not universal. Money is universal, but currency is geographical. When you cross Nigeria, this becomes a useless paper. So it can't be money. That's why we need to go on this way. This can't be money. Now, if you say this is money, then what is this one? Is this one money? It's not. It's not money. But you see, if you have currency in your bank account, and then you have this connected to a bank, you can use this to access the currency in your bank account. Please follow me in the spirit. But if you don't have any currency in your bank account, and you use this, it will not work. So if you don't have money, currency will not flow. You didn't get it. The only reason why this can bring something out of your bank is because there's something there. Guess what? The only way this can flow to you is because you already have money. If you don't have money, currency will not flow. Oh, it's deep. You will get it later. That's why you need the manual. But are you getting something now? So we need to go to the roots. Because the problem with us is we keep pursuing the fruits. And when you pursue fruits without roots, you don't have the seed of reproduction. So every time you pursue fruits, when this ends, you look for more of this. But when you have the roots, you don't ever need to look for any of this. Because you know that when you need it, you know how to produce it. Hello? So is your checkbook money? No. But your checkbook will be very powerful when there is currency in your bank account. Hello? So what I want to do today, or start today, we can't finish. Thank you, God bless you. What I want to start today is take you on a journey back. And let's start from the beginning. Because you are here today, there was a time in this country when there was no currency at all. No currency. And I will advise you, if you can, anytime you are going to Abuja, try and find out how you can go to the Money Museum. There's a Money Museum at the Central Bank headquarters in Abuja. And you can organize to go there. So if you are going to Abuja, find out how you can go there and go to the Money Museum. When you go to the Money Museum, I hope you know Nigeria is over 100 years old. You know that. We're not talking of independence. We're talking of... So the currencies, the medium of transactions that have been used in Nigeria for over 200 years, they are all in the Money Museum in Abuja. So you can go there to find out that there was a time in this country where what they were using as currency and medium of transaction is not what you have in your pocket today. Now, as I take you on this journey, by the time we get to next week or 2 weeks' time, you will now know where we stand now, because there is already another dimension of currency that is called cryptocurrency. There is e-money. There is another that by the time your children will be 50 years old, when you bring this paper and you say it's money, they will say, Dad, are you all right? That's not money. Because they will not see paper as money at all, because it will not be part of their reality. Hello? I hope you know that if you bring that phone, you know that phone that you turn like this? If you bring that phone, I hope you know that many people cannot use it. A man brought his 2 teenage children together and brought the phone and gave them a phone number and said, if you can succeed in dialing this number, you're going to get $100. So he put $100 on the table and walked away. 3 hours later, they didn't get it. Because what he did was he took their phones away from them, locked them in a room, and said, dial that number. When you dial it, you get $100. They couldn't do it. If you had given them a phone, they would have Googled it. Because what we used to use our brain to think about, they use their finger to press. So, when we talk about money, the paper in your pocket is not money. The paper in your purse is not money. Your bank ATM card is not money. Your checkbook is not money. They are nothing but just currencies, mediums of exchange. Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And if you've done your Bible 1 year, we're already in Exodus now. So if you went through that, how much did God have when he created the world? How much naira, how much dollars, how much pounds did God have when he created the world? So if God created the entire world without what you call currency now, it means you don't need money to create anything. So what was it that God had that he used? So if we sit down and we look at the spiritual diagnosis of creation, we see that number one, God had a vision of a world. And by virtue of that vision, God opened his mouth and spoke confession. And God believed that what he said will come to pass, faith. And the Holy Spirit went to begin to move the supernatural. So you find out that in creation there was vision, in creation there was confession, in creation there was faith, in creation there was a move of the Spirit. So question, are those things no more existing now? So why are you not using vision? Why are you not using confession? Why are you not using faith? Why are you not using the supernatural? Why do you believe that somebody can do money ritual and you cannot do spiritual ritual? Hello? No, why do you believe that somebody can kiss her? They do ritual. Why do you believe those kind of stuff? And you doubt that money can come out of the mouth of a fish? Why do you think they call rich people a big fish? Say, I don't catch one big fish. Why do you think they use that expression? It's because money come out of fishes. Hello? Are you getting something? So, let me bring, whether you went to school, study economics, or you did not, there are things you understand that will become clearer now as we go on. So let's begin from the modern day civilization. When humanity started what we call civilization, because there have been different levels of civilization. If you study history, there have been different levels of civilization. So that one civilization will come, they will become extinct, another after a period of dark ages, or another group. Because so what we call modern civilization that led to every one of us being around started with what we call the first stage. So let's begin from that place and see if I can give you one or two today, and then we'll continue next week Sunday. So the first level is what we call the hunter, gatherer, caveman age or era. So you can see when you do your research, they can be called the hunter-gatherer stage, you can call the caveman age or caveman era. That's where our civilization began from. That's why you hear people talking about the evolution theory, we came from monkey and all this stuff. Is because when you go back to the roots of this, many people don't understand creation. And there are all kinds of things. This is a school, so it's not a theological class. I don't want to go into a lot of theological issues. But what we have here is the first stage. And this is where we need to begin to now understand what money really is and how we arrived at the realm where everybody is now thinking of paper. They want to kill themselves for paper. Paper that one man can decide to change the currency and say we are changing color. And everybody will be in trouble. Because so if it is money, how can one man change color and everybody is... to show you that, all this, they are human beings. I've been telling you this thing, you don't believe. But many of you will be believing. It's human beings that sit down to be determining monetary policy, fiscal policy, and then instead of you to connect to God, you are doubting us that are connecting you to the Creator. You are believing people that can manipulate your life. I hope you know all the money you think you have now, somebody can come tomorrow and say there are no more legal tenders. And you are back to zero level. If that is what you are putting your trust in, it shows how fickle the things are. So the first thing is this group, they are called hunter-gatherers. At this stage, they had no clothes. They were naked. And there are people still operating in this realm now. I hope you know. In Nigeria and different African countries, there are people that when you get, everybody is naked. And nobody is ashamed. Because nobody has the consciousness of the kind of civilization that you have that will make you to see naked. If you go there and you see a naked woman, you won't even be thinking what you are thinking now, even with people that are wearing clothes. Hello? You have lost now. Somebody is wearing clothes. You are still thinking evil. When you get there, the people are naked. They are not thinking anything that you are thinking because they are not seeing it the way you are seeing it. They are not in that level of civilization. Hello? So at this stage, no clothes, no cars. If you brought a car in that age and gave it to somebody, they won't say thank you. They won't celebrate it. They might even be using it for farming. They might use it for sleep. They might use it for toilets. They might be people inside. Because it's not part of what they needed. No office, no mails, no bills to pay, no school. Nobody was going to school. Nobody was thinking what you are thinking now. Because when you begin to have this understanding, many of the things that make you feel inferior, many of the things that make you feel inadequate now, somebody sold that script to you. They sold the script to you and they programmed you to begin to look down on what you have that is the real value. And then you leave real value and you are pursuing superfluity and you are pursuing fickle things. So, they were primarily hunters and cavemen. Even if you give somebody 10 acres of land here, it's useless. They don't know what land they are. As far as they are concerned, they are not interested. They didn't know what land meant. So at this stage, they were what? Hunters. And because they were hunters, there were only two things that they needed to survive. Number one, energy. They needed energy to do what? To run after squirrels, run after antelope, run after deer, run after different kind of things. Number two, skills. They needed skills. They needed the energy to hunt, and they needed the skill to hunt. They needed skill to know how to catch fish in water. So that as the fish is moving, they have a sharp stick. And then, what do? They stick the fish. But when they want to stick the fish disappears. So they now discovered, okay, as the fish is coming, instead of me putting the stick here, I will put the stick here. I will monitor the speed of the fish. And then as it's going, boom, I'll catch it. They now know that I can put stone together and create fire. And I can put some leaf there and put fire into a hole. And then all the squirrels inside will come out on the other side and I'll catch them. Now, what were they doing? They were using their energy and their what? And their skill. No currency, no money. But to survive, they needed what? Energy and skill. Now, what that tells you is that they only needed two things. Energy, hard work. Skill, smart work. So question, is hard work and smart work still relevant today? So why are you looking for money? Why are you not using what you already have? Why are you not just doing the hard work and the smart work? Because as you begin to move on with this journey, you will realize that money is actually nothing but a reward for problems that you solve. Money only flows when value is released. But you are not ready to offer value through hard work. You are not ready to offer value through smart work. And yet you are expecting money. You don't get something like that. It doesn't work like that. So that's the first level. Now, one thing you need to understand about this level again, because I want to try and give you two today, is that everything they were running after, please note this, because you would need these 4 levels as I go on. The ground was there. They were not using the ground. What were they running after? What was running on the ground. So all their energy, all their skills was focused on what was on the ground. One of the characteristics of what they were running after is the fact that what was on the ground that they were running after was diminishing. They were running after something that will continue to reduce as they continue to eat. They were running after something that was going extinct as they continue to eat. Why? Because they did not yet understand another level of evolution where they can now put male and female together. And instead of running after things, they can put the thing behind the house and the thing can continue to produce without them having to run again. Which is why when Esau went into the forest to hunt for meat, what he went to look for, the mother was rearing in the backyard. And there are people that are still Esau individuals, Esau family, Esau nation, always running into the field to get something new. Where there are Jacob nation, Jacob family, Jacob individual that have understood the technology of reproduction. Let's move to the next one. The word evolution means moving from one form, one phase, one level to another by information and education. And then you begin to get transformed. Now, when you talk about education, emulation, and observation are the lowest and the most common way of getting educated. Repeat after me. Emulation, which means to emulate someone. No, repeat. Which means to emulate someone. Or observation, which means to observe things, is the general, common way of getting educated. Because don't forget, there was no school here. They didn't have any degree, but they were being educated. Now you have degree, you are uneducated. This common sense that is there from creation, you went to school, school took the common sense away and gave you a degree and added foolishness to it. These guys didn't go to school. Just like your great-grandmother didn't go to school, but she built 7 houses. You went to school, half plot you don't have. Hello? Your great-grandmother did not go to school. She goes to market once every 5 days, AK market day. And then she knows that the money I'm making from this market, I have to share it in different places. I will use some for us to eat the next week. I will use one to pay for the market. And then she knew how to manage her money. But now you have gone to school. You collect salary. You eat everything. Because even though you have a degree, you lack common sense. Now, emulation. You see what people do and you do it. That's why no matter how much you try to be a good parent, the number one secret to successful parenting is role model. That's the number one secret. Just be an example. You don't need to tell them anything. What they see you do is what they will do. If you like, say anything you want to say. What you say is not as powerful as what you do. So every attempt at parenting fails at the altar of compromise and hypocrisy. Because they are watching you. So they know you are a liar. They know you are a deceiver. They know you are a cheat. They know. They are watching you. So you can tell them, pray. They know you are not praying. Fast. They know you are not fasting. Serve God. They know you are not serving. Give. They know you are not giving. So, emulation and what? Observation. You emulate what you see. You go to a restaurant, you've never used cutlery before. And now they put first course before you, they put cutlery there. And everybody's bringing fork and knife. And you have never used fork and knife before. And you don't want to disgrace yourself. Because it depends on your level. For somebody like me, once I get to a place where I don't know it, I say, my people, this one pass me. Oh. I go straight to the point. I be, people say, you know this one. Well, how do they use this? I don't know. I go straight to the point. I make it comment to learn. But you now, you may not have that strong self-esteem to be able to, because now cutlery, I don't know. No be anointing, I don't get. I know what it is, so I know. So you just go straight. But you now, instead of you to ask questions, ego. How can they? So that they would think I don't know. Everybody is ignorant in something. Once you understand that that person too does not know everything, you say, my sister, please, I don't know how to use the cutlery. Please, how do you do that? Hello? Listen, up until last year, there are different planes you enter. The way technology is going now, business class, first class, you enter some place as if they give you a whole room and parlor. I still entered the flight last year in one airline, and when I got in there, they said, that's your cabin. I said, and my wallet is like a whole room to you inside plane. So I said, sorry, it's my first time. I don't understand all this one. So how will I open door? How will I stand up? How will I lie down? How will I sleep? So, sorry, Mr. Emmanuel, we're going to come show you. There's no credit there. If I get money to enter, I get enough ego to collect knowledge so that I go use my money well. Hello? But you now, you will get there. Instead of you to ask questions, you will just be suffering. You will just be suffering. So they came and said, will you like? I said, yes, I'd like to sleep. Say, do you want food? I said, I don't want food. I don't eat aeroplane food. You don't have food. I'll eat him before I enter. So say, okay, we'll make it to a bed. We'll do this. I said, okay. You have to. So, observation. You observe what people are doing or you emulate them. Now, why am I saying all this? I'm trying to tell you, how did they move from the first level to the second level? It's observation. They were observing that, come. The last time we passed this place, there was nothing here. Oh. How come this thing is growing? You say, kunto, kunemuna. So he came and said, yeah. He said, I caught it now. He said, it has grown again. That means there must be something about this ground that produces. We need to study this thing. Oh. So that's how they evolved. And they realized that land has the ability to produce. They realized that inside that ground, if you put a seed there, it will produce more than what you put in there. And that's how they came to the farming and the agrarian era. Not because they went to school, but because by emulation, by observation, by divine intervention, they identified this. And then everybody went into farming. As they got into farming, please listen, I'm taking it very slow because this is the heart of the matter. Once you get this one, this is the engine room. Once you get the engine, you can always know what to do at any point in time. The people became farmers. Are you ready for this? The first time they were running after what was on the ground. In the second level of evolution, they are now focusing on the ground itself and what the ground can produce. But there are still realms they didn't know. As at this time, they didn't know that there's something under the ground that is more important than the ground itself. They didn't know yet. So at this point, they came into what? Farming. Now, when they came into this second level of evolution, let's not forget where we are coming from. What then was their currency? What were they using in the first level? Energy and what? What do they still need now? Energy and skill. It has not stopped. It has not stopped. But what has happened now is that they now have to use their energy to hunt and redirect the energy to farm. They have to use the skill to hunt and learn new skills, which is what's still happening now. Learn new skills to now use the new skill to do what? To farm instead of hunting. But by the time this next level of evolution came, some people in the first level were set in their ways. They have even created an entire industry around hunting. They have created their identity around hunting. And their name is Hunter. Hello? And their family name, all the family members have been named according to the trade. So by the time they now say farmer, I say, no, that's not our calling, we are hunter. How many rich hunters do you have today? That's how some people have become extinct, because they refuse to evolve. And when this next level of evolution took place, all you need is what? Energy and what? Energy and what? Energy and what? So you've heard me say it over and over again. If you are not informed, you will be deformed. If you are not inspired, you will expire. If you are not updated, you will be outdated. If you are not in know, you cannot be deformed. These things are not just slogans. Because those who know rule over those who do not know. You need to continue to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Learn new skills. In 1998, they were talking about millennium bug. Some of you were young. Some of you are probably not born, but some of you are old. Then you know millennium bug. In 1998. They told us that year 2000, the whole world would just crash. Everything would just go back to 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All of us were confused. And that's why they were talking about computer. 1998, I went to school. I was the pastor of this church. And as they were talking, I said, we cannot be outdated. So I commanded everybody, let's go and learn this. Everybody must learn to do this. Me, I went to school. Epoch Computers on Allen Avenue. It's one small girl that was teaching me. I was a man of God. But I went there, they said desktop publishing. So he'll be telling me this is a mouse. I say mouse. I say mouse. He said a mouse now. I said, why did they call it mouse? He said, I don't know, sir. I said, okay. What did I do? I went to learn. When GSM came, we had to go and learn. You remember BlackBerry? Nokia 3310. You remember that? We had to go and learn how to do text. I don't know text message. So I said, come, this thing, how did they send text? Somebody had to think, you text, you do like this. When email came, I don't know how to send email. I had to go and learn, please, what's email? I don't know. I remember years ago, a friend of mine in the UK called me, and he said he would like to speak with me. I said, yes. Oh, how are you, my brother? He said, man of God, I know your heart. We'll be friends for a while. I know you will not knowingly do anything to hurt anybody that you are close to. I know your heart. And that's why I'm calling you. But what I'm about to say, please, I would like you to take it, because you are special to me. This relation is special to me. I'm wondering what I do. He said, please, there's something you have been doing and I can't take it anymore. I said, what did I do? He said, every time you are sending monthly email, you will now expose all our emails and send to everybody. And my email has been out there. I'm a private person. I don't give my email to anybody. It's because I said, sorry, I don't understand. I said, but I send the email. He said, no, when you send, everybody will get it and they will see everybody's email. I said, is there any other way to do it? I said, because if I'm sending it one by one, I just copy. He said, no, there is another one called BCC. I said, what is BCC? I don't know. They don't teach us for school, and they know the inside Bible. He said, BCC. I said, what? He said, you don't know. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, I don't know. Teach me. I don't know. The guy just kept quiet. The level of humility and the level of vulnerability just made him to say, you know, I said, I don't know now. I said, I don't know. I said, so sometimes if I want to send email to 30 people, I'll be picking it one by one. Send to one. I'm there for 3 hours. Send the email. He said, it's a waste of time. You can blind copy. I said, I don't know. He was the one that taught me. Many of you are so arrogant and so confused that what you should just go, Joe, teach me this thing. I said, they always show that. And you are still illiterate in 21st century. So when the agrarian age came, land now became important. I don't think we can finish this. Land was not important before, but when the agrarian age came, land now became important. Now, until then, nobody owned land. God is the owner of the land. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. But this is when people started owning land. And it was the royals. So the people that were now the chiefs and the royals, what did they now do? They now started taking territory and said, this is our land. The word real estate is royal estate. That's why the word real estate is called royal estate. So the royalty started owning land, and then they now say, if you are coming to our land and you want to own the land, you must come to us and we must give you permission. That's where C of O, R of O, and all these documents came from. God is the owner of the land, but people started claiming territories. Hello? And then land became important. And people started farming. But that evolution brought a lot of things. Many of you did not know, when you hear things from outside. How many of you know of a man called Robert Mugabe? Robert Mugabe of Zimbabwe. He's still it now. Now, how many of you were always wondering how you hear many terrible things about the country and they still love the guy? And you're wondering, why do they love this guy? You don't understand. Robert Mugabe studied abroad and saw the error of colonialism and saw that the white men just came and gathered all the land and started farming. And all the black people were being marginalized in their own country. And then Robert Mugabe came and said, all of you, you must explain where you got the land from. Because you are not born here. So there's no way you can claim you are from London and you are the owner of a land in my country and we don't have land. All of you, show your. So they took the case all the way to the Hague, all the way to the highest level of court. And Robert Mugabe won the case on behalf of the entire country and emancipated them to own land. But what he did not do, I'm coming to the second level. The first part, which is what he did. And how did they win the case? When they finally got to the highest level, he said, I just want them to tell me, in order for a foreigner to own a land in a place where they were not born, someone must have handed over the land to them and say, I give you or I sell it. They should just show me the receipt of the person that sold land to them because they are not Zimbabwean. That's how he won the whole case. Page 2, who gave you the land? Because you always hear that story that you will throw stone. How many of you have that? You will throw stone like this. Now, that is elementary. What the white man did is they will come, they will now put a horse on the land. Say the horse should start running. That when the horse is tired, when the horse is tired, that's why their land stopped. That's how they collected land. But you see, what Mugabe did not understand was that owning the land does not mean you have the skill to handle it. So Mugabe now collected the farm from the white man that you own the land, but you don't have the skill to till the land. They had the skill to till the land, so they collected your land and attached their skill. Now you have gotten your land, but they have the skill. So Mugabe collected all the farm, handed it over to black illiterate people, and all the farms started dying, and the country went into bankruptcy. Why? You can't just do hard work. Smart work must be there. So when people are talking privatization, hand it over. What are you handing over? Hand over to who? So few things that became a reality as a result of the land, and then I'll continue next week Sunday. It's number one. By virtue of the agrarian age, we had the enhanced class system. So class started. There was no class. People started having class. We are the royals. We are the landowner. We are this. You don't have anything. So class system started. Until today, class has become a reality of our world. Number two, polygamy. So people now came to a point where the bigger your farm, the richer you are. But in order for them to have a big farm and to till the big farm, what do they need? They need farmers. So they started marrying multiple wives and giving birth to multiple children. It was an economic policy, not a relational principle. So many of you, your grandfather had 30 wives and 72 children. Many of you come from a family where you are number 28 out of 31. You are number 11 out of 15. 8 wives, 5 wives. Then, they were not doing anything wrong. They were just good men that wanted to bring in women, have children, and baby. So as long as a man can take care, even families were giving their daughters to this man so that they can take care of them. So that is why I don't understand, my brother, how in the 21st century, you are now operating agrarian brain. You now say you want multiple wives. I don't know who did this to you. One never do you. Why? Because you are operating a different set of principle. Number 3 is slave trade. Now, we'll stop here. We'll continue. Let me close this. Now, slave trade. As people were giving birth to children, marrying wives, some people were now thinking, this thing is too slow. Because this formula, I will look for a woman, I will toast her, marry her, all these are expenses, so feed her, sleep with her, impregnate her, she's pregnant. I will feed her plus pregnancy. 9 months later, she deliver, I pay, and then the pikin, I begin to feed the pikin. The pikin is useless until around 3 or 4 when you can begin to go to farm. So that journey too long, is too expensive. Some people now say, Omo, is there nowhere we can go and get adults ready-made and just bring them without bonding them? We don't bond them, but we bring them. That's how they started going around. That's how slave trade came on. They were looking for people to come and farm. They now say there's one place. There's a place, Mongo Park. Discover one place. There are a lot of monkeys there. They are black animals, but they can walk. They can talk. That's how they came up with all this evolution, to make you believe you are a monkey. So that you can see that you are an animal. So that they will degrade you, treat you like an animal, and you'll be celebrating the color of their skin, even though they are not as intelligent as you. You don't know that white people are not intelligent. They're not intelligent. You don't know. Try and relate to them. You see how daft many of them are. They are simple things they don't know. Now, let me help you understand, because you may not understand. Let me help you understand. I hope you know that many of the young people today, they are not intelligent. But they can achieve what you cannot achieve. Why? Because they have technology. So an illiterate can Google something and get knowledge of 50 years and use that knowledge to confuse you now. But it's not really as smart as you. But he has access to what you don't have. That's why you think white people are smarter than you. They have something that helps them as a leverage. And by the time they preach it, you look like, wow, this is amazing. Hello? So, that was when what every one of us know as money today started another level of evolution. They now realize that at this stage, we need to have something we can be using generally. Because we cannot just go and carry slave. We have to give them something so that they can release the slave. That's when trade by barter came. So for many of you, if you went to school, the first level of economy they will teach you is what? Trade by barter. I continue next week. I want you to just pray one prayer. Just one prayer. Lord, make me a testimony of this series. Open your mouth and pray. That this journey we are going on,